Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from T&J, and a lot of time has passed since our last video as far as this timeline goes with the MLB schedule for the Brewers. But look at us, we're 72 and 53. A lot of time has passed. Look, we're already past the All-Star game, we're past the trade deadline, and we're sitting in a good position. We're 19 games over 500. Let's just look at how our guys are doing. So we actually lost 3 out of 4 from Cleveland. We actually have a lot of losses on this schedule, but here's the thing, we're still in contention with the NL Central, because look at this, we're only 4.5 games back. We're still leading the NL wild card by about 3 games. We're trying to keep that home field advantage just in case we don't win a division. And let's just look at our team and how they're doing. So Robinson Chirinos is actually hitting pretty well. He's hitting 233. Remember, he was hitting like 202 earlier, so it's good to see him hitting a lot better. He hasn't regressed yet, so that's a good sign. Eric Thames is only hitting 236, and you know, he might be coming back down to earth a little bit, because last year he hit 277. He hit pretty good coming over from Korea in his first season, so I mean, that's all right, I guess. But Jonathan VR, he actually tore his MCL about a month ago, and this was alarming because I was like, damn, I gotta get somebody in a trade. But you know, I just didn't want to give up anybody and break up what I got, because I already made quite a few trades, and to replace him, it would have been too much to give up, so especially to get somebody good. So what I decided to do is use Hernan Perez a little more. He's hitting 205, so that's not really a good sign. So good thing we got Jurickson Profar, because he plays second base in that role for VR, and he's actually hitting better than what VR was. He's hitting 257, and you know, he can play any positions, which is good, because if anybody gets hurt, he can fill in. Brinson is actually doing a lot better than what he was. He was hitting 220 earlier in the season, probably around our last video. Now he's hitting 245, and he's improving. He's still got that power. So I'm glad to have him in the lineup. He actually hits towards the top of the lineup now. Jorge Soler, he came down a little bit, 268. He's holding it down in center still, though. Franklin Gutierrez came down a little bit, 324. He's still leading the NL in batting, so that's a good sign for him. Who else am I missing? Orlando Arcia. So I moved him back up to the majors. I let him get some burn in AAA. He had about over 300. He got his groove back a little, and he's been improving. He's only hitting 163, obviously, but here's the thing, he was hitting 130s before, and I just kept giving him a chance, so I finally moved him down, and now he's back up 30 points. So he's fine. JJ Hardy, he plays good in the reserve role. When I gave him the everyday, he started slipping a little bit, so I decided to give him that reserve role and to fill in, like, you know, across the infield. So let's just look at the rest of our pitching. So this is interesting. Look at Junior Guerra, our best rated pitcher. He's only 7-8. He's second in our rotation, 3.55 ERA. Lance McCullers is 10-6, 3.52 ERA. He's our ace. But here's the shocker. Josh Hader is 14-6 with a 3.09 ERA. He's beasting. I'm telling you, he's gonna be the future ace of the Brewers. And it's funny because when I was simming some games, like, there were teams trying to trade for him because they saw that potential in him. They were trying to get him. I probably had about 3 trade offers for him, and I mean, they were crap offers. I couldn't accept them. Zach Davies is 10-6 as well. So, you know, this is a good sign. I mean, Zach Davies to be our number 4 in our rotation, to be 10-6, that's a hell of a asset to have. And Francisco Liriano, look at that. He's 7-14. That's turning out to not be such a good trade. But the thing is, I took a flyer on him. So his contract expires after this year. It's going to come off the books. And good thing it is going to come off the books, because think about it, man. We got, if you look at these upcoming free agents, I don't know where they have it at. Here you go, 2019 free agents. You can see a preview of it. Matt Harvey, Daniel Murphy. And there's other guys. I mean, there's Bryce Harper, a whole lot of guys are going to be free agents. So we're going to be looking to have a splash in free agency after this summer, after this season. So, Steve Geltz also is having a pretty good season. I mean, look at him. 1.31 ERA. He's got 40 saves. So he doesn't even have a loss on the record. So he's doing really good. But you know what? We're going against the Rockies. Decided to get you guys caught up here because we are having a pretty good season. Even our AAA guys. Look at Kyle Ryan. He's hitting 290. Look at him. He's beasting. He might get a shot at the majors. I mean, this is a good sign. I mean, Boog Powell, he's hitting 274. I mean, he's beasting. So everybody's doing well in our organization right now. I forgot to show you Geronimo Reyes. Look at this guy. He's 12-3 with a 3.02 ERA. He might be the top prospect in baseball right now. Let's double check that. Top prospects. He's actually still third. I cannot believe he's still third because he is 12-3. He is killing it. But man, I am excited. Let's get into this gameplay. We are going up against the Rockies at home. Lance McCullers, our ace, is on the mound. I haven't pitched with him in a while, so let's just get into this. The funny thing about pitching with Lance McCullers is that he strikes out a lot of batters, but when I actually use pulse pitching, it's kind of hard to pinpoint with him, and he doesn't have bad accuracy ratings. I mean, his walks per 9 is fine, but it just seems like it's harder to pitch exactly where I want it to go. I mean, Zach Davies is probably the best as far as hitting his spots, but sometimes when late in the games he gets rocked. But Lance McCullers, I mean, it's fun to pitch with him because he strikes out a lot of guys, but a lot of the times it's because they're swinging at pitches out of the zone. Like right here, we get Barnhart to strike out swinging, and Nolan Arenado with the ground ball up the middle, and Orlando Arcia. This is why I love him. He is great on defense. But here Trevor Story comes up, and Lance McCullers always makes at least one mistake a game, leaves one over the plate, and Trevor Story takes that one deep, and the Rockies take the 1-0 lead in the 4th inning. Jurickson Profar comes up in the 4th, and he can't do anything, so we're on to the 5th inning here, and Lance McCullers walks the first batter, and the pitcher comes up and bunts him over. But look, I'm having trouble switching to what player I want. I wanted the catcher to pick up that one, but I don't get it over to him in time, and the pitcher gets to first safely. He's got 2 speed, and he got to first safely. But here, Lance McCullers actually got hurt on that play, so he's forced to come out of the game. So I had to bring in Blake Parker cold off the bullpen bench, but he does get the next batter to pop out to Brinson in left, so we get out of there. And here in the 5th inning, Robinson Chirinos comes up. Robinson Chirinos just hit a missile out of here. I mean, that was gone in like 2 seconds for their 16th home run of the season. Like I said, Robinson Chirinos, he has power. He's been hitting good as of late, but he just doesn't hit consistently. It seems like he has a game where he hits a home run to right field or the left field, but then he disappears for a few games, which is pretty weird. But here I hit a ground ball up the middle trying to score Arcia, rounding second, and look at this play. That was bad base running on my part. I tried to stretch a simple ground ball up the middle, and I thought I had 80 speed Arcia. I thought he was fast enough to get home, but obviously he wasn't. And here Arcia strikes out on a high heat, so I bring in Taylor Youngman to pitch in the 9th to just get us into the bottom of the 9th with a chance to win it. And here he gets the first batter check swinging. The second batter is going to ground out to Jurickson Profar, and Bernhardt is actually going to ground out to first. So we have a chance to win it here in the 9th. So they bring in Jordan Lyles. He has a pretty good record on the year out of the bullpen, but Jorge Soler, he gets the strikeout swinging. and Lewis Brinson comes up next. The funny thing about this game winner from Lewis Brinson, he's the future of our organization, but the funny thing about this is that I would have been batting him at the leadoff spot because he's actually been a great leadoff hitter. And for this game, I decided to give Keon Broxton the start in right field in the place of Franklin Gutierrez. So I gave him that leadoff spot, and I moved Brinson down to the 4 spot where Franklin Gutierrez would hit. And look at what happens when I put him up there. He hits a game winner over the fence. But look at this. Rob Ciccarino gets the MVP of the game. That's kind of funny. But he did have a clutch home run early in the game. But that's going to do it. We went off of 6 hits and a game winner from Brinson. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And we'll be back. We're rolling here. Let's go.